Today I got a special video on exhibit card vending machines. There's a story behind this machine, and I'll tell you about it in a second. But to talk about exhibit cards and arcade cards, there's two different companies that made cards. With this video, I'm going to show you the vending machine that me and my wife picked up, or more my wife picked up. I'm going to go through a little history about exhibit cards. It's made by Exhibit Supply Company. I'm going to talk a little bit the differences between exhibit cards and arcade cards. Then I'm going to show you how this machine works and what we got with it. And then we're going to walk you through and try to find a value, what this thing is worth on the market at the moment. So there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to go through real quick with this video. But let's just start off. So this vending machine I saw in my local auction. It was an online auction. He does online and live auctions. I said, I'm going to bid on this because I just enjoy these types of machines, and so does she. So I was sitting there getting ready. I did my due diligence. I went out there and I said, basically I'll pay up to $350, $375 for this. That's it. Machine. Everything's there. The whole inside, the keys and stuff. So the night of the auction, I log in and I'm bidding, and there's someone going after these other arcade exhibit cards that were on the auction. And then when we got to the machine, it just started getting bid up. It made it to $360. I went to $375, and I said, I'm out. Well, she was sitting over on the other side of the room doing something on her computer, and I didn't know what she was doing. So I was a little bummed that I didn't get it. But I wasn't going to overpay. I'm not for sure if I'll see another one this complete, this well, everything together. So it was a couple months, maybe 2-3 months. And all of a sudden my birthday comes up, and our 40th anniversary is on my birthday. Yes, I got married on my birthday. My 60-year birthday came up. And guess what she got me? Got us, we put it this way. And it's not for sale. I can't sell it. She said, she was the one bidding on this machine because she knew I wanted it, and she does stuff like this all the time. She is probably the most strongest, modest, caring person I've ever met in my life, and I wouldn't be here today in the position I'm in if it wasn't for her. So, but she got this machine for me and us, and it's just an amazing machine. So I wanted to do this video to walk through, to show you about these machines, and I educated myself on exhibit cards, arcade cards, and I thought I would share. But as she got the machine home, she actually called the auction, because I won some other stuff, and I usually go out there Mondays and pick it up. She asked Jerry, the auctioneer, if she can come out a day early and get it, so I wouldn't know that she got it. And I even told the guy, one of the workers there, I said, man, I wish I would have got that machine. And he said, yeah, someone else was bidding on it. I go, yeah. He goes, I saw that. They didn't say anything. So all this time, for these months, nobody said anything, and I thought I never got it. I was just thinking about it maybe a week before my birthday. I said, man, I wish I would have got paid up. Maybe I could have went to $425 for it. It was just an amazing machine. And when she got it home, she always cleans them up, oils them up, or whatever, and makes sure everything is set. She'll do things to them. She's got a lot of gumball machines, very expensive ones, in her office that she picks up, and she'll go out and get the original locks for them and just research and things like that. They're not for sale. She keeps them. She might trade them for another one, but she does that. But if you notice this picture here, it's got cowboys on the front. And that's the way it was in the auction. Well, when she got it home and took the glass off to clean it up a little bit, she found this, jet planes behind the glass, the original advertisement for the exhibit vending machine. So these cards were not originally supposed to be in there. It was the jet planes. So that's how this came out with that. And if you notice there in the pictures, it's a 2-cent machine, not a 1 cent. And that's very important as we get into finding the value and comp in this machine. It's a very well done machine. It's a lot of quality and engineering went into this. Just how strong it is and tight it is on all the metal and stuff. It's very high quality stuff. But I wanted to go through and talk a little bit about Exhibit Supply Company that made these machines. So I got a little history here, and I got some pictures to show you about Exhibit Company as I read through these couple paragraphs on the history of Exhibit Supply Company out of Chicago. Here we go. The Exhibit Supply Company, founded in 1901 in Chicago, was known for making arcade machines, not the arcade companies, but like arcades and other amusement devices. They started by creating simple machines that could print small cards with pictures or fortunes, which became very popular in places like amusement parks and penny arcades. During the 1920s and 1930s, the company expanded its product line to include pinball machines, which were a big hit at the time. These machines were mechanical games that people loved to play, and they became a major part of the entertainment in the U.S. Exhibit Supply Company was one of the leaders in making these fun and exciting games. In the years following World War II, the company continued to grow, introducing more advanced and innovative machines. However, as technology evolved and video games became more popular, traditional arcade machines started to decline. Despite this, Exhibit Supply Company remains an important part of history of arcade gaming, remembered for its early contributions to the amusement industry. The Exhibit Supply Company went out of business in the early 1970s due to the rise of advanced electronic games, economic pressures, cost more to make the things, and shifting consumer preferences away from its traditional arcade machine. So that was a little history on Exhibit Supply Company. Now I went out there and I researched what's the difference between vintage arcade cards as we know them and vintage exhibit cards. There's two different things, and I'm going to put this on the screen here and read the differences, and then I'll give you the key difference, and I'll show an example of each. So vintage arcade cards, not the ones that I have here. The origin: dispensed in arcade machines from 1920s to 1940s. The purpose: novelty items featuring celebrities, pin-up girls, humor, or trivia. That's a key thing there. The design: small, typically black and white or sepia, I don't know how to say that word, similar to playing cards as you see here. So those are vintage arcade cards. Now what about vintage exhibit cards, Exhibit Supply Company cards? The origin: produced by Exhibit Supply Company from 1921 to the 1960s. The purpose was collectible cards featuring sports figures and movie stars. The other ones were pinup girls, humor, trivia, and stuff like that, but Exhibit featured sports figures and movie stars mostly. Design: larger postcard size cards, usually with monochrome or tinted portrait and a brief description. So a little more quality, I think, with the Exhibit than the arcade cards. But what are the key differences to sum it up? The purpose: arcade cards are more varied and playful, while exhibit cards focus on celebrities and are more collectible. The design: exhibit cards are larger and more refined. Arcade cards are smaller and diverse in style. So those are your key differences between arcade cards and cards. Now I see names mixed up all the time. They might not be right. People even call exhibit cards arcade cards or arcade cards exhibit cards. You'll see that in postcards and everything over there, but at least you have an idea there is a difference with those types of cards. Now I'm going to show you a little clip about the machine that we got, the vending machine from the Exhibit Supply Company, and how it all works and what's inside and how simple it is. There's not a lot of moving parts and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and play this little clip I did to walk you through the front, the back, and what's inside. So here we go. This is the machine that she got for me. Now let's take a look at the front. So this here is glass. There's no cracks in it. And then 2 cents. This is a 2-cent vending machine, not a 1 cent, as we'll see in a second. But when we first got this, it had these cards under the glass like that. And then when she took it out to clean it up, she found the original jet planes advertisement there. So that was pretty neat. Then she went out and bought a set of cards. I don't know if I got the whole set. I still got to go through that. But that's what's in here is these cards. Now when you put coins in here, I got a bunch of pennies here. You just put 2 cents in, you push, and you pull, and the card comes out. Same way with this side. And this is engineered exactly for pennies. It's very, you push it in, pull it out, and the card comes out. Now, in the pictures, there's a logo here for Exhibit Supply Company that's worn off or not there anymore on this one. But there is what they call patina, I think is what the age to it here. I think people held on to it with the rings and stuff and it scraped off when they pushed it in. But the sides are really nice along here. It's very well made. It weighs about 20 pounds, 19 to 20 pounds the way it is right now. Now we did get both keys. So this is one key for the back. Now the back actually has the instructions on how to load it. But we do have the key. And inside there's weights. These are kind of heavy weights that hold the cards down. So you put the cards in like this and then you put a weight on it. There, and the same thing on this side. Now we also have the key for the coin box down here where all the pennies go. So that's one of the big things we look for when we buy things like this, is that we have the keys for it. We'll get banks and stuff and not have keys, and it takes the value down because there's no keys. But these things just slide right in together and it locks right up. But that's the whole exhibit. 2-cent vending machine. 2 cents, not 1 cent on there. That's all there is to it. So it's a pretty neat machine, ain't it? Now remember, it's a 2-cent machine, not a 1 cent. And those weights, it's got all the weights, it's got everything in there, the keys, the weights. That's what you want to look for when you're looking for the machines. A lot of times you can go out and find the weights. I've seen some of those for sale, or the backs and stuff. But this was a complete, fully functional machine. And both of the coin operators work. What are these things worth? One of the things I use out there is eBay to go comp things. Well, I didn't find a lot. I also use WorthPoint. And I have a link in the description if you want to do a free trial. But this is how I found out what the value of this is. Or get me in the ballpark. So I went out there and I put in there like Exhibit Supply Company vending machines. And eBay, didn't find anything. I put the same thing in WorthPoint, kind of cleaned up the search. And I come up with this one. It looks like it's got jet planes, but one difference. It's a 1 cent machine. Not a 2 cent. But that's sold in 2021 for $4.76 for a 1 cent. Then I found another one, 1930s trading card machine, 1 cent. This machine is more the late 40s, early 50s is where I put it. So it's not 1930s, but look at that one, machine from the 1930s, 1500. So I'm about 10 years away, 20 years away of having a very valuable machine. So if it was 1930s, it's going to be worth a little bit more than what this one is. But that's still a 1 cent machine. So I keep finding these 1 cents. I'm looking for 2 cent machines. Then I found this one. Exhibit Supply Company machine looks like this. It's still a 1 cent machine. That sold in 2011 for $700. And that's a 1931, I think, too, or in the 30s. As I kept going through, guess what I found? I found it. This is the machine we have, except we don't have the logo on the front. But look at it. There's the white side, the glass, and it's a 2 cent machine. You can see the 2 holes there. And this is the whole listing for it. And this sold for $340 in 2010. So what do you think the value of it is now, looking at those 1931s and 40s, and this was sold 10 years ago? And this is what WorthPoint can do for you. It can go way back like this and give you the things. Therapy can do the same thing, but this, I like WorthPoint for stuff like this. because it just picks out everything. And this sold at Hank's Auctions, not just eBay. If you notice, it says source Hank's Auctions. So WorthPoint goes out and looks at like auction places. So I was able to find this. Now the picture on there isn't the same. It's got those cowboys in there. It has a banner going across, and it has some cracks, it said, in there. But it sold for $340. So would you put this thing about $400 or $500? That's what I would do with that. But it's one of the neatest things, and she does this to me every once in a while, is just surprise me. And you know, it's great to have this machine. And I have it right up here. It'll be in some of the videos going forward. What we usually do with it, we have a slot machine, some other thing our grandkids like to play. So we're going to probably find a place for that, and they can put the pennies in and pull the cards out. They enjoy it. They'll play that slot machine over there, and when they win, they tell their great-grandpa, that they took his money. What do you think? Do you guys have any of these vending machines out there? Do you have any exhibit cards or arcade cards? Was this helpful to look for these? I know you're going to get these in postcard boxes and lots, but I have a lot of exhibit and arcade cards listed. They don't sell as fast as I want, but I think exhibit cards should be able to get a little bit more than arcade cards. It looks like they did a little more quality, and that's what helps me. Well, that's it for the video. Real quick one, just to show you what this machine is and how cool it is. I'll throw the clip up again that I did in the beginning, just to show you how it works. All I got. Thanks for watching.